Oh, could we, hey, you mind if we stop for a moment? I need to catch my breath.
Sure. Say, Nathan, how much farther is this campsite you found for us?
Oh, we're close. We're close, Matthew. I know you were expecting to rough it, but it's less of a campsite and more of a camp. You know, kind of like one of those KOA type of places, you know? I reserved a small cabin with a couple of beds for us. There's a pool, some facilities too, like bathrooms. It'll be fun.
Well, as long as we can make a nice fire, I really don't care what the place has.
Oh, I'm pretty sure we can. The craziest thing, though, is this place was advertised for being a perfect camp for podcasters. So we'll be able to record our new episode easy.
Cool. You, ready to continue?
Yeah.
I don't understand why we had to park, 3 miles down the road and walk all the way over here.
Yeah, I don't know either. You know, I wouldn't have to stop so much, though, if you didn't make me carry all our podcasting equipment. What do you have in this bag anyway? Your entire computer?
Yes.
Seriously?
No, you said you wanted nature sounds in the episode, and this is all the recording stuff I need to do that. Besides, since I do all the editing, the least you can do is carry the bags. Actually do something for the podcast for once.
What?
Nothing. Oh, finally, I think we're here, dude. Let's go to the sign and archway over there.
Yippee.
Does that say boot camp? Podcast boot camp? I thought you said this was a campsite or whatever.
Well, I saw the words podcast and camp and assumed it was a normal campsite.
What about the word boot?
I thought it was suggesting what shoes you needed to wear.
You moron.
I'm sorry, man. It's still probably a laid-back place, you know. A boot camp for podcasters wouldn't be that strenuous, right? Think again, maggot.
And there's a real-life drill sergeant here.
That's podcast drill sergeant to you, maggot.
And now I have seen it all. Do you say maggot at the end of every sentence? Because this will be a long weekend if that's the case.
No, I do not, maggot.
Of course. You're not gonna swear at us, right? I don't think I could take it with my poor, pure little heart.
Well, due to the variety of podcasters we have attend Podcast Boot Camp, I'm no longer allowed to freaking swear at Podcast Boot Camp.
Well, that's great to hear.
State your names and podcast.
I'm Matthew, and this is my out-of-breath co-host, Nathan, and we host the show Absurd Arguments.
Absurd Arguments. Interesting. Your file here says it's lasted a year and 25 episodes so far. Impressive. It seems to me you're due for a season finale and a break.
I mean, that's kind of why we're here. But we were planning on recording an episode this weekend and taking a short break for the summer.
Well, it ain't break time just yet. Go over to the table and set up your equipment and start recording.
Now? But we just got here. Nathan's tired, and he's so out of breath that he hasn't said a word at all. Look, just point out our cabin, and we'll record the episode tomorrow.
Typical lazy millennial podcasters. I said get your butts over to the table and your now. Afterwards, I will provide my analysis and let you know if you actually have what it takes to be a good podcaster or not.
But...
Now, maggots.
You know what? Fine. This is stupid. Come on, Nathan. Let's set this up and get this over with. I want to eat hot dogs.
And I want to eat s'mores.
Well, hello everybody, and welcome to Absurd Arguments. Nathan, we just kind of sat down and were told to record a podcast in a weird way. We're at a campsite, and I'm not in a very joking mood right now. Are you?
No, I just wanted to take a nap, Matthew. I guess we
No.
should tell people who we are.
Yeah.
I'm Nathan. This is Matthew. We're
Hi.
the hosts of Absurd Arguments, where we
Yes.
argue about absurd things.
Yeah.
Um, yeah.
Yeah.
So great to be here.
This is the great outdoors, and we're experiencing, nature at its finest, surrounded by trees and yelling drill sergeants, and it's
It's
as
the
much as
dream.
as much as I'd like to take it in. I don't know what to do with this.
I would rather take myself out of it than take it in. You know?
I understand.
I mean,
I
I
understand.
know I was the one who helped find this campsite with these very realistic sounding nature sounds
Yes.
that we've recorded for our audience, but I don't know. Part of me just wishes I was inside playing video games and watching TV.
You say that, and there's so much outdoor exploration that happens in video games. You're just like, why
Yeah.
don't we go do it ourselves? And then this is where we ended up.
Yeah, I mean, I like, yeah, I could just do it in the video game though, and not get hurt in real life and not get
Yeah.
bit by bugs and,
Not
you
get your
know,
feelings hurt by someone yelling at you.
no, that's fine with me. You yell at me all the time. It's okay. We're fine. Yeah. Well, okay. Look, we just got to get our heads in the game, and we got to do this. We've
Yes.
got to do this. You know,
We
I
got
was
to do
about to
this
say this
Troy
is
Bolton style.
yeah. We got to get our heads in the game, and
Yeah.
uh, I just was like,
This is
this
probably the
isn't.
first time a High School Musical reference was made on this podcast.
No, surely we've done it before.
I don't think so.
I'm a huge Zac Efron fan. Him and Vanessa Hudgens were the perfect Disney couple for forever.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. And she's in one of my favorite movies, right?
Unfortunately, I do know about a movie she's in.
The Christmas Prince. I think that's what it
No,
was
it
called.
was the. Oh my
That
gosh.
was what it was,
What was it called?
that was what it was called, right? The Christmas
This
Prince?
the Christmas Switch, Princess
Oh,
Switch,
yeah, Christmas Switch. Wait,
something like that.
how did we both forget it?
I'm glad I forgot it.
Princess Switch.
Princess
We
Switch.
we were both kind of close. The Princess Switch. Okay. Anyway, all right.
Gross.
Well, we need to get started. I actually have a one of our classic segments we haven't
Mm.
done in a while, and I have it planned for you.
Oh.
Which is the worst?
Oh no.
Yeah, camping edition.
Oh gosh.
So it ties into our episode, and so I have a few, and I'm going to start from mild to gradually really bad.
Oh no.
So yeah, we'll see what you think. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Which is the worst? Hiking 1 mile uphill or 5 miles downhill?
Ooh.
Yeah.
I would probably say 5 miles downhill.
I don't
But
know. You got the
that
gravity.
depends on the steepness of the path and things like that. But uphill isn't too bad, but a long distance where you're kind of top heavy going down a hill, not super fun.
Oh, you could always roll.
No.
Okay. All right. Next one. Okay.
All right.
Um. Now this would. I, I'll give some explanation about it afterwards. But which is
Okay, cool.
worse, smelling like smoke from a fire, or
Hmm.
smelling like bo since you forgot your deodorant?
Oh, smelling like a BO because I forgot deodorant. I love the smell of campfire smoke.
Okay, this was like a gamble because I work at a school, and every now and then we'll have like a bonfire, and we go
Hmm.
there. And one time I had this one guy, this one senior, who we went to the bonfire, and he got really angry. And I was like, "Why are you so mad?" And he's like, "My clothes smell like smoke now." He's like, "I hate this smell." And so, for
Oh.
those of in our audience who just hate the smell of smoke, I just wanted to put it in there. But yeah, other than him, I've never met anybody who hates the smell of smoke from a fire.
Hmm. Hmm. Because
Smoking is different, but
yeah, it's like cigarette, all that smoke, different. Like campfire smoke is its own. Like we need a candle that smells like campfire smoke.
I know that would be so good.
Oh.
Okay, the next one is inspired by what I saw on a movie as a little kid. Uh, okay, which is worse? You wake up to find that the air mattress you've been sleeping on is now floating in the middle of the lake,
Hmm.
or you wake up and you discover your tent was blown away in the middle of the night.
Again, it would have to be that I'm in the middle of the lake because I can't
Mm.
swim very well.
Oh, yeah, you're screwed.
Quite.
Can you name the movie that inspired this question?
Um, is
Specifically the
it
air mattress part.
is it the Parent Trap?
Yeah, that one. That was a great prank.
Yes, let's go. All right. Which
Yeah,
one?
good job.
Which one? The original
I
or
mean,
the Lindsay Lohan version?
oh, Lindsay Lohan all the way, brother.
Oh yes.
She's the best.
before
I
before she went off the deep end.
I did see I saw a meme yesterday that said, "Imagine this: a show with two twins, one growing up in America, the other growing up in the UK." And then it had a picture of Guy Fieri from
Mm-hmm.
Diners, Drive-ins, and Dives, and then a picture of Paul Hollywood from British Bake Off. And it's remarkable how similar they look.
Hold the phone. Hold on.
Yeah, like
What's the British guy's name?
Paul Hollywood, I believe. He just looks like
Oh no. Oh,
he
it's the white hair with the white beard going in.
he
Oh
just
my
looks like
gosh.
he looks like a more refined Guy Fieri.
That's
That's the type of Parent Trap I want to see.
absolutely the mayor of Flavortown versus the prime minister of Flavorville.
Yes, absolutely. All right. Next one. Okay, which is worse? We're starting to get into the worser ones.
Oh no.
Um, which is worse? Going glamping with your mom and all her middle-aged friends, or being lost in the woods alone for a weekend?
Okay. You texted me this word earlier when we were trying to figure out what we're going to talk about. What is glamping?
Oh, what is glamping, Matthew? Come on. Glamping is glamorous camping. So it's like camping but not really. You know?
Oh,
It,
okay.
it's
So like
it,
in a
you
camper or something?
no kind of, but you have like an accommodation usually, like teepees or tents. Like, they're really nice looking. It's like luxurious,
Oh.
you know? It's not traditional camping. But you're with your
Uh,
mom and her middle-aged friends.
hmm.
And then the
Do I
other
get
one
my
is
own space?
no. Well,
That's worse.
no. Yeah, right?
That's bad. I'll rough it for a day, um, and see if I can. if I, am a true man. I've got to have my own space.
Oh, for sure. Yeah, and it would be way more quiet. But I know my mom and her friends, they're just chatterboxes.
It's a good
I
thing
don't
your
know.
family doesn't listen to this podcast.
I know, yeah. I was like, wait, I shouldn't say anything bad about Matthew's mom, but hey, I can say bad things about my mom. Oh. No.
Oh,
Yeah, no, I think my brother-in-law does listen to this, and so I need to be careful. He may snitch on me or
mm,
blackmail me. So yeah.
or both.
Oh, yeah, all of it. Why not? Okay, are you ready for the next one?
Yes.
Okay, which is worse, finding a snake in your boot or finding your boot in a bear?
Oh, finding. Oh, that's a tough one.
So the bear has eaten your boot.
I think it'd be much worse if I found a snake in my boot.
Really?
Because of a bear, if my boot was in a bear, then I mean that's not bad. But if I step on a snake, that could kill me. I can just, slowly get away from the bear very cautiously. But a
Yeah.
snake hidden in my boot, no way. I'm
Yeah,
dead.
but you could shake the snake out. That's why you got to check your boots. You know,
Yeah, but then the snake can, slither towards me because he's like, "No, my intent is to kill you. It's not for me to
no,
go away." Yes.
snakes are more scared of you than you are of them.
I highly doubt that. I'm probably more scared of snakes than they are of me.
Okay, imagine, Matthew, that
Mhm.
you had no arms and no legs, and you
Yep.
could only slither around on the ground, and then you got encountered by a giant with huge arms, huge
Mhm.
legs, who could
Mhm.
stomp you.
Mhm.
Would you not be more afraid?
No, I'd kill him.
No, you
Yes,
wouldn't.
I would because I'm a snake and that is the main objective of snakes in this world is to
It's-
deceive and kill.
no, they're nice.
Yes. The Bible says so.
Yeah, but ball pythons are cute and cuddly, kind of.
There is not a single snake in this world that I would call cute and cuddly.
No, poor ball
Disgusting.
pythons. Okay, there is this. Maybe you have a point. Like my dad, he went camping once, and he actually hung his boots on a line, to keep them, so no pests could get in them. But
Hmm.
he just went and put one on. He didn't check it, which was, in hindsight was bad because there
Hmm.
was a scorpion in it and it
Ah!
stung his foot.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh
He was
yeah.
so mad. And so apparently the scorpion just like went on this high dive and was on the line that he hung his boots on and just waddled all over and dropped in.
Gross.
All right. Okay, so this is the last one, and I just went over the top with this one, so I hope you enjoy. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Uh, we'll give you this setup. Okay, so it's not too gross. You
All right.
have one of those water purifiers.
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and which would be worse? Okay, getting water from a river that your best friend just peed in upstream.
Okay.
Okay, or getting water from a lake with like a dead llama in it or something.
Hmm.
And the water purifier will purify both types of water.
Do I know about either scenario, or do I just see a river or a lake?
Uh, if it's unknowingly, that's too easy. You know. You
Okay.
literally just watched your friend pee in the water upstream.
Oh
I don't know why you were
gosh.
watching him, but you did.
It's
and,
more I know he goes, "Hey, I need to go take a leak." And then he walks
and
up
they,
that way and then I just forget about it.
no, you haven't forgotten. You're doing it at the same time. You're like, I need to keep
Ew.
myself busy while
Well, if that's the
he's doing
case,
that.
then definitely the llama is worse.
Yeah. I think these both equally suck.
They're awful.
I know.
Also, quick question: where in the world am I going where a llama has died in a lake?
Well, I mean, the farm I work on has a
I am responsible for the death of at least one llama.
right. There's a llama pond here, and I
And
think
I will
there was a
not elaborate.
someday we will elaborate. So yeah. Well, this was our segment called "Which is the Worst," where we talk about which is the worst, and
Yeah.
yeah, all of these have great mental images that I hope
Mm.
all of you enjoyed.
Pee is temporary, but death is eternal.
Well, is it though?
Now that we're here and we're talking about camping, we might as well
Uh huh.
say that this is a camping themed episode.
What?
Um, I know it's crazy, but we've got a few things to talk about. I have pulled an Uno reverse card, and I was
Oh,
the one that forgot to research. So I will do no research and just go off of my quick wit and philosophy degree and
oh, great.
prove my point.
Hey, everybody, start your naps now.
I had a friend tell me that when we talked about Zelda last episode, he was very bored, but he was
Oh.
mowing and he couldn't turn, he didn't care enough to turn off the podcast because he was mowing. Yes.
Poor guy. Hey, shout out to you, guy who listened and kept mowing. You're a true champ.
True, true friends, true friends. Well, let's go ahead and move right into the boring part and cue the music.
Yeah. Oh, my research is anything, but yeah, we can just cue the music. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, cue the music now.
So, when you think of camping, okay,
Hmm.
you like to it's got a lot of things associated with it, and so
Indeed,
we could be here all day arguing about camping stuff,
we
but
could.
that's just we don't have the time. We're both exhausted from our 3 mile hike to the podcast boot camp that I reserved us a place for, so we just don't have the time. But
Yep.
I figured we could talk about some of the big ones. So let's start here, okay?
Hmm.
Which is the better food to have on a camping trip? All right,
Okay. Hmm.
and I took the position of marshmallows slash s'mores, and you have the position of hot dogs and beans. You know,
Absolutely.
yeah. So, uh, would you like me to go first, or do you want to take it?
Please, you go first.
Okay, so for those of you who don't know what a s'more is, if you've lived under a rock, okay, we first need to start with marshmallows. Okay, so with marshmallows, they're those little fluffy white um, cylinders of sugary goodness. Okay,
Mm.
and what you do with a s'more is you get graham crackers and you put the marshmallow on, and then you put Hershey chocolate, and you put another graham cracker on top. Make yourself a little sandwich, and it is delicious. And it's probably when you think of campfire food, that's the number one. Okay,
Hmm.
so I found an article from 2019, and it's from the website Monterey County Weekly.
Oh,
It's
I love that website.
Yeah, it's written by this guy named Dave Ferries. So I don't know
Dave
if we like.
Ferries. I
Yeah,
Is it
perhaps
Ferris?
it's well maybe it's Faries. So there isn't an I after the A, so maybe it's not
Oh
fairies, but
gosh.
Faries.
You, we'll call him. We'll
Like
call him Mr. Ferries,
it's like an Aussie way of saying fairies.
or
Mr.
just
Faries.
Faries. Look at the Faries fly around.
Oh, but look at all these Faries.
I
Oi.
we got the Bobby cooked up. You'll go ahead and throw some Faries on there. They're
Absolutely.
good for
Okay.
when you die. They replenish 8 hearts.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was a Zelda reference.
Right. So he talks about how, uh, the mere mention of s'mores brings a smile to people's faces. Okay. Everybody remembers the first time they're introduced to this treat. Do you remember?
No.
He said everyone remembers, Matthew. Get your
He
act
said
together.
everyone except for the fact that I do not like marshmallows.
Oh, gross. Me neither. Why would
Exactly.
I?
My thoughts exactly.
Okay, marshmallows by themselves, I'll give you this. Marshmallows by themselves, kind of gross. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
It's weird, and they're only used for the stupid game Chubby Bunny. Okay? That's
Mm.
it. And so they're pretty awful. But you put them in hot chocolate, delicious. You put them on a fire, roasted, you get that nice golden brown color, which Dave says when you're roasting marshmallows, you need to be patient. Don't stick it directly in the flames, have it above and get that nice golden brown. He says that's the perfect
Okay.
marshmallow.
All
But
right.
s'mores, man,
I
oh,
disagree,
they're
but
so freaking good on s'mores. You, you okay? Now, let's see. Some people like to do different things for their s'mores. So you can literally do anything else. And this article blew my mind because he suggested this. You
mm-hmm.
could have peanut butter, jam, you could have other fillings into the s'mores, but this here is a game changer. What if instead of graham crackers, you use chocolate chip or other types of cookies?
Interesting.
Isn't that the most delicious sounding thing ever?
So I hate to burst your bubble,
Huh?
but what's the cookie company where it's got the elves in the tree?
Keebler.
Keebler. So Keebler has a cookie
Uh-huh.
that on the bottom it's got fudge on the bottom, and what my grandparents would do is they wouldn't buy graham crackers or they wouldn't buy chocolate. They would just get marshmallows and the Keebler fudge striped cookies, and that was it. And let me tell you, when you get that fudge stripe cookie and you don't put it on a marshmallow, it's really good. But when you add the marshmallow, I mean, it does make it a little better, but it's
Right?
still the marshmallow.
Yeah, but it's better because it's in there. Oh, okay. You know what? Maybe you're on the side of the U.S. Department of Agriculture, which
Wow,
they
you did some
said that they.
research.
Well,
You did
it's still
some
in the same
research.
article. No, I didn't. It's the same article. You know me.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
lazy.
Sorry. Sorry, I'm trying to praise you. I'm sorry. You are a piece of
how,
garbage. Is that what you
how
want me to
dare
say?
you? Look, man. I'm just I'm just glad I came across the one person on the internet who is freaking obsessed with s'mores and decided to offer every piece of information regarding it.
For real.
Okay. So the US Department of Agriculture, okay,
Mm-hmm.
they came up with replacing marshmallows with low-fat yogurt and replace the chocolate with fruit.
Oh, so just fruit yogurt?
Yeah, between two graham crackers.
Between two, do you roast it?
I guess so. I don't know.
Ew.
I don't
You
know.
don't put yogurt over a fire.
Yeah. Well, the
Oh,
U.S. Department of Agriculture does.
dude, U.S. Department of Agriculture doesn't like sweet things that are just like manufactured.
Yeah.
That's awful. That's
Also, hey,
you somehow made me hate something more than marshmallows.
right?
I'm surprised you were able to do that. When we picked these topics, I was like, there's no way. And you somehow did. You somehow made something more detestable than a marshmallow.
That was my not my initial goal, but I saw that and I was like, oh wow, that's awful. why is why is the government ruining s'mores for us? You
Dude,
know,
why is the government ruining fill in the blank for us?
I expect the government to ruin our lives with taxes, to ruin the economy, to just ruin daily life in other ways. But I didn't expect them to also go s'mores. They're too good. We got to ruin that.
Oh,
All
that
right.
is repulsive. Just
Now,
go ahead and get you a stick of yogurt, stick it over the fire. What are they thinking? What are they thinking?
so my final thing I want to point out. Okay, you're a good Christian boy, right?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
You're a good Christian boy, right?
Every time you try to say that, you sound very robotic. So I hear Gooshin
You're
boy.
you are a good Christian boy, right?
I kept hearing you're
What?
a Goshen boy. I was like, what the heck is a Goshen boy?
So you
No,
you're
I am a good Christian boy. I don't know what a Goshen boy is, but I am a good Christian boy.
okay.
Yes,
Your internet is
thank you for
fabulous.
typing that out for me.
Okay. My final um
Oh,
the
sorry.
final thing. Okay, so my final point is the guy who invented I think who created graham crackers that are uh, that are used on s'mores
Uh
is
huh.
Sylvester Graham. And the reason he made these crackers, which we use on s'mores,
Mm-hmm.
is he created the crackers because he thought people were getting too busy, if you know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean.
Mm-hmm.
And he was like, they need a food that'll make them not want to get with each other. And so it should help you with, with if you want to sleep around, you need to be eating more s'mores or graham crackers.
You know, that whole thing, the same thing is with the Kellogg cereal. It's the same kind of mindset behind it. I just
Exactly, right?
it's funny that someone was like, "We need to make a food so bland any sort of desire will immediately be quenched."
Yeah. I mean, I'll be honest, when I eat a bowl of Kellogg's, I don't really I'm not in the mood to go like gallivanting and hanging out with the opposite sex.
It's
I'm
true.
just
It's true.
ashamed because I ate an entire bowl of Kellogg cereal.
I love graham crackers.
Oh, no, no. Oh, no, Matthew.
Is that why is that why I'm have struggling to find a girlfriend is because I love graham crackers.
Sylvester Graham is in heaven right now going, attaboy.
Oh gosh, maybe I am a Goshen boy.
You are a good Christian boy. Yeah, it's time to stop eating graham crackers and I don't know, eat wild foods like steak and Lunchables or something. I don't know.
Yogurt covered fruit.
Uh, yogurt s'mores.
Ugh. Yeah, gross.
Anyway, there's my evidence. If we didn't have s'mores, we'd have the yogurt crap, and don't want to eat that on a camping trip. So
Man,
that's my argument.
it's a fair argument. I think it's dumb.
Okay.
Hot dogs and beans all the way. This is
Hmm.
this is what the cowboys of old would do when they were roughing it, driving their cattle from, all the way in El Paso up to Dodge City, Kansas to get them to the train track to sell. I mean, that's what they would do. They've got their can of beans. Obviously, hot dogs weren't invented yet, but I would like to imagine it's like the Will Smith movie, The Wild Wild West, except with like all these technological advances. They just made hot dogs.
Okay.
So you've got these rough cowboys with their crazy facial hair, mustaches that are bigger than, a baby's foot, and then they've got, the big sideburns, the mutton chop sideburns that go down, but they don't have a beard.
Hmm.
I mean, and you've got these men sitting around in fire, eating a can of beans, getting a hot dog. There's nothing more manly in saying that I am roughing it than a good hot dog with a can of beans.
Okay. I'm going to push back against you a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So, in our modern day, another word for hot dog has emerged in the vernacular. Every
Hmm.
time I say this word, it causes me to throw up. So, we may have to pause the podcast as I say this word. But
Okay.
hot dogs are now referred to as glizzies, okay? Excuse me as I go puke a little bit. All right, I'm back. Okay, so the thing is, um, these glizzies sound not just like hot dogs, but they sound like something else.
Hmm.
Something gross. And so, in all my days of watching Western films, watching John Wayne, James Stewart, the other famous old actors in these westerns, I've never seen them wolfing down glizzies. You know, I've not seen John Wayne wolf down a glizzy and then go, man, this sure was bussin'. You know,
That's
never
because
has
that
said
word
that.
wasn't in the vernacular either.
Uh,
All right,
I
look,
think
look,
it. I think it
look.
was
No,
like I got a bus. We're
bus.
busing to town. You know.
I don't know.
Anyway.
So here's the thing. I read this book the other day, for another thing, and this comes from the old cowboy song called "The Old Chisholm Trail."
That's a road in Fort Worth.
It is. It's a toll road. Crazy. Now
Ugh,
this is
I
the
hate
actual
those.
Chisholm Trail that they would take. Um, so this is this the song. They're talking about things that they're eating and that they're hunting.
Okay.
It says, "Stray in the herd, and the boss said kill it. So I shot in the rump with the handle of a skillet." That doesn't have to do with my argument. I just thought it was funny.
Yeah, that's a fun line.
Now here's the cows. We rounded them up and put them in the cars, and at the last of the old 2 bars, oh, it's a bacon and beans most every day, and will soon be eaten prairie hay.
Okay, so
So they
I
are
will give it
they. It is documented that the manliest of men eat beans when they're roughing it.
exactly. That's my thing. Is I will accept that they will eat beans. You know, that's the classic food to eat on the trail. Big old bowl of beans. But I just don't see them with those hot dogs. You know,
All right, so
like
there's another term for a hot dog that has come up in the vernacular of American colloquialisms in the last couple of years. I'm very
absolutely.
glad I said all of those words without stumbling. So this comes from the song "The USU Range." The
Okay.
grub that you get is beans and cold rice, and the USU steak cooked up very nice. And if you don't like it, you needn't complain, for that's what you get on the USU range. And another term for hot dog is known as tube steak.
Oh, I thought you were gonna say weenies.
The only reason I said
Beans.
tube steak is because it said steak in the song lyrics. So that's why
Oh,
I went with it.
okay.
I would I would never say, weenie. in a,
Yeah, you can't. Yeah, you would.
Gosh, I'm a child. I would never use that word to describe a hot dog.
Right. Never?
Maybe.
Hmm. Well,
Anyways, if the Cowboys ate beans, I assume they would eat hot dogs. So that's why I said beans and hot dogs.
okay. Makes sense to me. Why don't we move on? Next one. Which is the which is more annoying? Okay.
Hmm.
Bugs like mosquitoes or other bugs other than mosquitoes,
Yep.
or uh scavenger type pests like raccoons, possums, bears, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So I guess this is a holdover from my which is the worst segment, but we're going to talk about it. What do you think is the worst out of those two groups?
I would definitely think it's the scavenger pests. I
Really?
think, yeah, like, because with bugs, you can get bug spray, you can get the little candles or something that has, the bug repellent stuff in it. You can do all that. You can't go to, any sort of like sporting goods store and find, a can of raccoon repellent or, possum deterrent. You can't find that. So they're more annoying because there's nothing you can really do to prevent them from stealing your food and other things, getting in your stuff.
I don't know. I think you can tie stuff from trees. You can hide it in the water. You know, I've read an
Nathan,
old kid.
let me just say this.
Uh huh.
Are you really going to try tie things to trees?
What do you mean by that?
Are you going to are you going to spend the time to go and tie your belongings to trees while you go
Bro,
out?
I won't have any coverage on my cell phone to waste on YouTube and Reddit. So yeah, I will take the time to tie something on a tree or have it float in the water to
All
keep
right,
cool.
here's another question. Do
Huh.
you think raccoons can't climb trees?
Um, they can.
They can climb trees.
Yeah. We one time at my house as a teenager, we opened the front door and looked up. There was this. We had an overhanging porch, kind of
Mm,
wraparound,
mm-hmm.
and this raccoon was up in the corner on top of a pillar.
Mm.
And my dad had to get a pellet gun to scare it off.
So, is tying your stuff to a tree really a good idea?
I think so because they're not. Raccoons don't wear shoes. It's not like they know how to tie stuff.
Well, they can still get into it somehow. They've got claws. If it's in like a bag or something, they could just rip through that sun.
Yeah, they do have hands, so they could probably learn.
Exactly. What you need to do is you need to set out a bunch of bait. And by
Uh
bait,
huh.
I mean cotton candy. And
I
so, whenever raccoons get something to eat, they will always, most of the time, from what I've seen, go to a river and wash it off before they eat it, or like a creek or something.
yeah.
But if you have cotton candy and they take that cotton candy to the water and they try to wash it off, you know what they're not going to have anymore?
I've seen those videos and they're so sad.
It's so funny.
Poor raccoons just want to eat some cotton
So
candy.
that's what I would do. I would try to put all of my stuff and secure it well, and then leave out bits of cotton candy outside away from where I'm staying so that they'll be attracted to the cotton candy, go wash it off, and leave empty handed. And then they're going to go back to the raccoon family and they're asking, Papa, did you bring something from that idiot camper? And the dad comes in, he goes, it's gone. It just disappeared in my hands. And then I'm laughing at the raccoons from a distance.
And it'll be like that Kingdom Hearts 2 scene where he doesn't even know the word for cotton candy, so he'll be like
Oh, that's. Oh.
so he'll be like the it's gone.
It's gone.
It's gone.
Dang it. I hate Japanese story writing sometimes. It's so bad. So, for context,
They all forgot the word for photos, and so they just couldn't
not
say
not
photos.
not that they forgot the word for photos. A bad guy in the game literally stole the word photos. And so they could not say the word because someone stole it. And so they're mouthing their words. It's like the photos are gone. But whenever they speak it, all you hear is the are gone. And it's like, this is the dumbest thing I've ever seen. Cotton candy is like the photos of Kingdom Hearts 2 to a raccoon.
Poor raccoons.
I mean, they get what they deserve for being scum.
Right. uh well,
Anyways, why are bugs so bad?
okay, I'm specifically focusing on mosquitoes,
Okay.
you know. So I found a few articles I won't focus on all of them, but Insider from 2014, Kevin Loria wrote an article on 11 reasons why mosquitoes are the worst, and
Hmm.
so at that time, you know, illnesses transmitted by mosquitoes and their ilk kill more than 1 million people each year and infect more than 1 billion.
Hmm.
So these are the true killers out there. Um, so yeah, so here's a few of the things they put people through. They put 40% of the world at risk for dengue, which causes the dengue. I guess I don't know how you pronounce it, but it's known as breakbone fever.
I love
Imagine,
breakbone
Matthew.
feet.
Imagine having a fever so bad it feels like your bones are broken.
Well, it feels like that every time I stand up and go to the fridge.
You know,
After sitting in my recliner for 8 hours playing Zelda.
it's such a good game. Worth it. Well, it's like how they say, fevers hit men differently, and so like, there's that joke that men are way sicker,
Mm-hmm.
when they're sick than women are, you know.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe that's what broken bone fever's like. Let's see. They spread yellow fever, which is a fever that's the color yellow.
Yes. That
They
is true. That's exactly why it's called the yellow fever.
they had the outbreaks. They were behind the recent outbreaks in 2014 of the famous disease I've heard of before called chikungunya.
I thought it was the Zika virus.
No, this one's chikungunya. So chicken gun, yeah. It's from the Tanzanian language.
Ah, I see. I see.
Yeah, you're right. They did the Zika. The Zika virus was a big one.
Okay.
Um, let's see. West Nile virus comes from them. But this is there's 2 points here that I think are really funny that he puts. Point number 4: mosquitoes scoff at national borders, turning isolated cases into outbreaks. They laugh. They laugh at us as we try to have borders to keep them out. They're like, oh, ha, ha, look at those puny humans and their borders. We refuse to be locked in.
Oh my gosh.
Then he took a break. He named more diseases they spread, like the Rift Valley disease and stuff. But then he mentioned mosquitoes don't play fair. They do target some people more than others.
Oh no.
Yeah, some people are mosquito magnets. They're
That's
they're they are
awful.
drawn to the smell given off by the bacteria that live on everyone's skin, and some people give off an odor that makes them especially attractive to the tiny beasts.
Mm.
And he said, contrary to what a lot of people say, eating garlic and using natural repellent doesn't do much, if anything. Eating garlic.
Interesting.
I
I mean,
hadn't
they're
really.
like vampires.
They're the vampires of the bug world. So notice, oh, notice how like everything I mentioned is like tons of diseases these guys spread. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
and they're at your campsite, Matthew, just waiting to suck your blood. You
Dang.
know, and you know what? They're really hard to get rid of. Like all they need is a small body of water, and they're like, "Cool, I'm alive now." That's
Hmm.
it. But the only good thing is the males usually eat nectar, and the females are the ones that suck blood. So,
I knew it.
uh huh. So,
Females are awful.
sure. So, all I'm saying is if we
Excuse
kill.
me while I munch on some graham crackers real quick.
No! So, all I'm saying is if we get rid of all the girl mosquitoes, life would be a dream.
Yeah. So, genocide.
But just of the girl mosquitoes.
Well, if you have genocide of a female of any species, the male population will also decrease, but a lot slower.
Do you know what the worst part is? is
What?
despite all of the negatives that mosquitoes bring,
Mm-hmm.
scientists are still debating on whether or not we should kill all mosquitoes.
We should.
Like, they just don't know. They're like, will it
I do.
negatively affect our ecosystem?
No.
No, it won't. It'll make things heaven on earth practically.
The only downside to killing all the mosquitoes I see is all the good bugs that are around that eat, bad bugs. They might
Yeah.
starve. And
They'll
if
be
we
like,
have zero bugs, then birds won't have food to eat. And if we don't have birds, then some animals that eat birds won't have food to eat.
oh my
Oh
gosh, it's like the
no.
circle of life song.
It's like the butterfly effect, except mosquitoes. So it's the mosquito
Oh,
effect.
gross. That's the worst effect of all.
Yeah, that was the sequel to that. Was that a movie or something? That was the sequel to that
Yeah.
movie. It did do very well.
Yeah, the butterfly effect with Ashton Kutcher was a good film, but the mosquito effect, the Indian Bollywood knockoff, did not do as great.
No. That was the remake or of the sequel, the Mosquito Effect with Charlie Sheen.
Ah, okay, maybe my
Yes.
mistake.
Yes.
It was just a Hindi word that sounded like the word mosquito that threw me off.
Indeed. Indeed.
Yeah, that must have been it. All right. Well, I say we head on to our last argument. What do you say?
I think we can get through this one pretty quickly, so I do agree.
Yeah. Who would you rather go camping with? Would you rather go camping with, the tech bro who's at REI all the time and thinks he knows everything about camping?
Yes.
Or you're just a random dad who just shops simply at Walmart?
Mm. I would have to
Hmm.
say Walmart Dad is far superior to REI Guy.
Okay, I'm going to push back against you a bit
I
because
can't believe
REI
you
guy,
would.
it's our job, Matthew. I agree with
Ah,
you. You will find as I discuss REI, its origins and how it operates today, that you, as our resident capitalist, will definitely stand against REI. Yeah. So, I was still on Insider magazine. I mean,
mm,
the website,
hmm.
not the magazine.
Wow.
And so I found this article uh, written by Connie Chin, and they're talking about how REI has managed to lead with its values and still turn a profit.
Wow.
And so they, REI is kind of a unique retailer.
Hmm.
It's an outdoor co-op, practically. So what that means is members can buy like a lifetime membership or something,
Yeah.
and it comes with perks. Okay, so
Ooh.
every member can vote during board meetings and stuff. And I don't know if this
More
is
like a board meeting, am I right? A lot like this
yeah,
podcast.
it's like that Norm Macdonald joke. Board is spelled Bored.
Yes, that Norm Macdonald joke where he just spells the word bored.
No, he was talking to a woman who's in this awful movie called The Boardroom or something, and Conan
Okay,
O'Brien
that makes a lot more sense.
and Conan O'Brien looks at Norm Macdonald and he's just like, "Do something with that, you freak!" And Norm Macdonald goes, "I bet bored here is spelled Bored." And he'd been roasting this lady all night about her stupid movie.
Oh my gosh.
It was hilarious. Okay. Anyway, so yeah, the members also, okay, I don't know if this is still the case, but it was in 2019 where if you spend at least $10 in March, every member gets 10% of everything they spent back.
Mm.
Yeah. Um,
So
but
so wait. So I get money if I have a membership with REI. I go
uh-huh.
in and I spend money and they're like, actually, here's some money back. Why don't they just give me a discount?
I don't know.
That's just give me the discount. Don't take my money and then give it back. I'm not paying taxes to the government. I'm not going to be taxed by REI and go, actually, you paid too much. Here, take this money back. That's
Yeah.
stupid.
I have one final thing to talk about in regards
Okay.
to REI, okay? So if you don't trust me, Matthew, and what I say, that's fine, okay?
Okay.
Um, but the thing is, there's only like 5 things you shouldn't buy from REI. I
Oh, wow.
found, I mean, there's only 5 things, and so I found this video from this YouTube channel called Kyle Hates Camping. No, Kyle Hates Hiking. And so he has the 5 backpacking gear items you should not buy from REI.
Mm-hmm.
And so what I'm going to do, I'm going to list these out for you, and you'll see that it's just 5 items, and you can do without these from REI because you can get everything else there. Okay, so the first item you don't need to buy from REI um, is tents.
Okay.
Yeah, you shouldn't buy tents there.
That
But
makes
that's okay.
sense.
That's okay. Your tech bro, he knows what he's doing. So,
Mm-hmm.
uh, he's got his tent somewhere good. Okay.
Yep.
Um, let's see. Another thing you shouldn't buy from REI is stoves. Um,
And yes, I absolutely agree. You should not buy stoves because it's not the Maytag guarantee.
well, I mean specifically camping stoves, Matthew. That makes sense. Like REI is kind of pricey, you don't need
Mm-hmm.
the stoves from there, but you can find other gear, uh,
Indeed.
let's see, another item you shouldn't buy at REI is sleeping bags. I wish I'd watched this
Mm,
video ahead of time. Uh,
I think there
yeah.
might be a little bit of an inconsistency going on here, but I
Well,
mean,
I mean, there's other stuff to get at REI. You could get your
I'm
sleeping
sure.
bag somewhere else. Yeah, it just is kind of pricey, I guess, for what you get. I don't know what this guy's saying. Backpacks, back backpacks is
All right.
another
This is this is
item.
not good.
What do you mean?
You can't really get anything at REI, can you?
No. You can get plenty of things. The tech bro knows what he's talking about. He told me. I mean, look, just as long. I mean, the last item here says shoes, but I mean, why would you buy your hiking shoes from REI?
Why
um,
that why indeed.
I mean, okay, so let's say you don't buy your tent, and you don't buy your backpack, and you don't buy your sleeping bag, and you don't buy your stove, and you don't buy your shoes from REI.
Mhm.
Uh, you, you could still get a compass there, and
Sure.
matches. They probably sell matches. The tech bro, but don't worry, he knows what he's doing. So,
I'm sure.
uh,
So where
yeah,
does the tech bro go to buy these things then?
REI. Well, I guess Amazon. You could go to
From
Amazon,
stage
maybe.
left enters the Walmart dad.
Okay.
The Walmart dad knows everything about Walmart. He can tell
And
you everything about its founder, Sam Walton. He can tell you the best places to go. He could tell you, local specialties that certain Walmarts have that others don't. But most
okay.
importantly, he can tell you exactly what you need to buy when you go camping or hiking or anything like that because Walmart has the basic essentials.
Yeah, but the tech bro, he's been looking online a lot, and he's done a lot of research. And
Yeah, but the Walmart dad has lived it.
I mean,
You
it's
can
great, but
no, you can only read so much and make decisions from research you find online, but until you experience it like the Walmart dad has, he knows the best, and he knows REI isn't anything compared to Walmart.
yeah, but I mean, the Walmart dad's not even on Twitter, dude. I mean, what does he know?
He's probably better off since he's not on Twitter.
Yeah, he's probably pretty healthy mentally. I mean, that's all great and all, but I mean, the tech bro, he knows what he's doing.
So does the Walmart
He's
dad.
we see you can go to REI and just ask for advice from the employees. You know,
See, but
they're
when you go to
unbiased.
REI, can you go get a pack of marshmallows or hot dogs or beans from REI?
Well, I mean,
No,
maybe.
no.
Well, they got maybe they surely they got the MREs, you know, like the
Oh, so
things
now
that
is it a
soldiers eat.
military surplus store? No,
I
it's an
mean,
REI camping store. Walmart has everything you need.
well, I mean, I guess you're. I don't know if you can buy Crocs at REI, so maybe they do have
You
everything.
can get superior knockoff Crocs at Walmart
That is
that
true. I
are
got a
just
pair.
as ugly and just as useful.
Hey, they're ugly for a good reason. They have personality.
What is this good reason that Crocs are ugly?
Well, to make you appreciate their function more.
Oh my gosh, whatever.
I'm actually wearing Crocs right now, so
No, Walmart dad all the way. REI tech guy, he can go have fun and get lost, but at least he has a good compass, while the Walmart dad has the perfect experience.
fine. You're right. I would trust the Walmart dad more than the REI
Exactly.
tech bro. You know, I it's kind of amazing that uh, we've made it this far. You know, I guess we should cue the music and then we can start our outro. You know,
Yeah, we can go through, get all this stuff out of the way, and then get back to camping. Well,
yeah, and talk to
boot
the boot
camping.
camp. I mean, the
Yeah,
podcast drill sergeant. We got to talk to him.
unfortunately. Anyways, let's go ahead and cue that music.
Um, yeah. So this is our outro. You know, we kind of
Stellar
mentioned
start.
it. Thanks. We kind of mentioned it at the beginning, but yeah, Matthew and I were going to take a break for the summer for a bit. So not until probably
July or August. It depends.
yeah,
Um,
probably August. You know, we're
yeah.
both going to be out of town and
Out of
visiting
town is a nice
family.
way to put it.
Yeah, some of us will be further out of town than others.
Indeed, indeed.
Yeah,
But
so
but this I mean, this really is like a season finale, even though we don't really do a season type setup. But
what we do
but
now.
yes, at the time of release, I mean, we've been doing this for over a year.
Honestly, I'm kind of surprised that we kept up with it.
We've made it this far. We faltered a few times. We didn't release a few
hmm
episodes when they should have, but I mean, this is probably the most committed to something other than my faith in Jesus Christ that I've ever been.
Honestly, same. Yeah,
It's good
I
stuff. Good stuff.
yeah, and it's been fun. So, but you know, it just may be kind of difficult trying to fit stuff in, and so we're gonna take a well needed break,
Oh, yeah.
and we'll come back stronger and better in the fall. You know.
Yep. But that doesn't mean we're going to disappear because we will still post so many wonderful things. Maybe, probably not, but you never know. On our social media of Facebook and Instagram and YouTube. I
Right.
still need to catch up on the YouTube. So at least we'll be posting on YouTube for a while.
Yeah, that'll be good. So,
This is also a
but
time
yeah,
for you to go listen back to episodes that you enjoyed, and you can tell us about your favorite moments of a year of absurd arguments, and you can send that directly to us by our email.
absolutely. Which is, go ahead and tell them, Matthew.
Oh, well, thank you. I was going to let you do that, but I'll do it. Our email is at absurdargumentsforyou@gmail.com. And that is absurdarguments, the number 4, the letter U @gmail.com.
Wow, great job, Matthew. I
Hey,
could have done it
thank
better
you.
myself.
You could have, but you decided not to.
You're right. But
But cheers
but
to a full year on the internet. Maybe at least cheers to one more year. Nathan and I both said that after a year we kind of assess the situation and see this is something we want to continue, and both of us said, yeah, that's way too much fun.
yeah, we're both having a fun time and enjoy it. So,
Yep. So
for the most part, there's still difficulties every now and then, but yeah, we're strong. We're good friends, and we'll keep with it forever. I think.
well, maybe I don't know about forever, but
Forever.
this has been a year of absurd arguments, and we look forward to another year. And Nathan, as we reminisce very quickly, do you have any parting thoughts?
Um, I hope the podcast drill sergeant appreciates all the hard work we've put into this and recognizes that we've done a good job. And thank you all for listening.
Yes, thank you, wonderful listeners, for listening. And we will announce when we're back by just posting another episode.
Probably, or maybe a cool trailer
Oh, man.
for season 2
Yeah.
with explosions and action scenes. It'd be cool.
Oh, or maybe a Wes Anderson style of trailer.
Yeah, sure. That
But
looks
that's going to
great
do it.
visually.
That's just imagine Wes Anderson when we say it. Anyways, before we stick around here far longer than we need to, that's going to do it for the both of us. Thank you for an incredible year, and we will see y'all in the next episode. Bye, everybody.
Mm-hmm. Bye-bye.
All right. That was it, Mr. Podcast Drill Sergeant, sir. What'd you think of it?
Yeah, we're kind of eager to see what you have to say about our work. All right, so I took extensive notes here.
Oh, boy.
And this podcast here is one of the worst podcasts I've heard in a long time.
Really?
Absolutely. The list of things I have here is long enough to write a novel.
Well, why don't you just go ahead and write that novel and publish it? Maybe you'll get more hits than our podcast.
Okay, hey, mind your own business. All right, now here's the thing. I got a bunch of notes here, and I'll just go through them real quick. Some things you did well, like Nathan mentioned John Wayne, but then he put the mental image of John Wayne eating a glizzy in my mind, and it made me want to vomit.
Same.
Matthew, you mentioned Wes Anderson, which is a famous indie filmmaker that I actually really enjoy that people wouldn't expect. So you get points for that.
Thank you.
But other than that, it was a bunch of garbage.
Well, let me tell you, on the website audible.com, there are people that say that we are very good storytellers. So I think you're the one that's wrong, Mr. Podcast Drill Sergeant. Is that office actually exist?
It does exist, and don't you dare go in it. Now, here's the thing. Here's what you're missing in your podcast. First of all, why do you not film this podcast?
Because I wear. There's no reason. There's no reason.
I get the fact that Chubby over here doesn't want to film himself for the podcast, but you, other than being a ginger, there's nothing wrong with you.
Wow, you just want to point that out, huh?
Yeah. Okay. Now, next thing. Why is there no panel of women on this podcast that you can have arguments with and point out that they're dumb?
Um, because I'm terrified of women.
Understandable. They are kind of scary, but that's the new thing nowadays is you have these hypocritical podcasts where you have a panel of hot women, but then you say things that makes them look dumb, and that's just the new thing. Why don't you have a panel of hot women on here?
The problem, Mr. Podcast Drill Sergeant, is that I don't need to make other people look dumb when I have a hard enough time making myself not look dumb.
I think if you talked about hallucinogenics a lot as well, that would help you out immensely in your podcast.
Why are you drilling me, Mr. Drill Sergeant? Nathan, what do you have to say about this? You're just letting all the flack come at me.
Maybe he's right, Matthew. We never talk about hallucinogenics.
You think that would actually be... What do you mean? We've talked about drugs before?
No, but not hallucinogenics. Like the most popular podcast on Spotify right now is, the guy, Joe himself. And so he talks about all sorts of crazy stuff. He was on that Fear Factor show. So we'll never measure up if we don't have hot women on to make fun of, or we talk about hallucinogenics and like horse drugs and stuff.
Nathan, that's because neither of us have ever done drugs or talked to hot women. Why would we start now?
Speak for yourself on that last point, buddy. Some of us have got A+ Riz.
You surely must not be talking about yourself.
I have Riz.
You don't even... There are listeners of this... people don't know what Riz is. So you're saying these
game.
words.
I got game, fam.
You got game? Oh, yeah. What kind of game? Basketball or pancake eating contest?
You see what I have to deal with, Podcast Drill Sergeant? Gosh, the emotional abuse you suffer in this show, Nathan, is so immense. I feel for you.
Oh, I'm sure you do.
Thanks, Podcast Drill Sergeant.
Yes, you two are such spitting images of each other.
No, we're not. We're totally different people.
Oh, is that so?
Yeah. We just don't like talking at the same time because it's rude.
It makes sense. It
is rude. It is.
All right, so yeah, how are we supposed to improve this?
One of you, the way you're doing things now, people don't know who's in charge. There's always got to be somebody in charge of the podcast. There's got to be that number one guy, the leader. So, out of the two of you, who's in charge of the podcast?
Me. No.
Matthew.
What?
It's me.
Why would it be you?
Well, I mean, I come up with all the funny ideas, and I don't want to toot my own horn, but sometimes I've got the wackiest stuff to say.
Okay. What else do you do?
I write. Sometimes most of the time I write the titles and the episodes, and it's hard coming up with like variations on like the word absurd and then a word that has to do with our episode.
Just a quick question. How long does it normally take you to do that?
Well, usually 4 days of you reminding me I need to write the title and description, and then about 10 minutes to...
okay, that's nice. Sometimes it takes me 4 hours to edit these podcast episodes. So I put a lot of time into this thing to where the people that hear the final product, it's from me. And you say what you want about, it sounds bad or whatever. I don't care. I put a lot of tender work into this.
I do too. You think my heart and soul isn't behind all this? I'm sorry if there's just some days I'm not in the mood to record or whatever.
You know what? Speaking of not in the mood, I am not in the mood to hear anything else that this drill sergeant, whatever drill sergeant you might be, I don't need to stay here. You know what? I'm leaving.
You know what, Nathan? Let him go. You stay here with me, and I'll teach you. I'll teach you how to be the best podcaster of all time. We don't need this clown.
We
Matthew,
just need drugs.
well, it's not. It's not just about the drugs, Matthew. I just. I think we just need to do something new with the podcast. We need to do something crazier. Don't
No,
go. You should stay.
I've heard enough.
Let's listen to Podcast Drill Sergeant.
I'm gonna go home. Camping, the little camping we actually did, which we went to a campsite that wasn't actually a campsite. You've done enough. I'm gonna go back home.
Matthew, don't go. It's okay, Nathan. You're safe now. We'll teach you to be the best darn podcaster of all time. We don't need that ginger. I guess you're right. Goodbye, Matthew.
What will happen to our two heroes of this ever-growing story? Will Nathan continue on the podcasting life and make his own podcast, even though Matthew did all of the heavy lifting? Or will Matthew go to make his own podcast? Or will they get back together and create a friendship stronger than anything else? Well, folks, there's only one way to find out, and we will see you in Season 2.